Short, sweet, to the point. You got this, Ash. You got this, bro. Hey guys, Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video, guys. Hope it finds you all doing well today. I'm in a good mood today, guys.
Oh, hell no.
Hey, Thunder, LOL, 138 soul stones. Best thing I got, period. I gotta look. Best thing I got was a 4-star Elva.
A piece of information against the president?
Well, I do love Elva Autumnborn, but a 4-star out of 138, yeah, that's nothing to be too happy about. I just uploaded my first ever Altar of Summons boosted summon soulstone summoning video a couple days ago. I fared a lot better than Thunder. We love you, Thunder, though. What's the first thing that you do when you pull a legendary champ? You know what? I'll just pull a mythical right now. Let's just pull a mythical right now, and we can show you. What's the first thing we do out of this prime? Okay, we didn't pull a mythical at all, but we did pull a mythical in disguise in Deacon Armstrong. I love Deke. I love Deke. Let's do one more primal shard. Okay. That's enough of that baloney. What's the first thing you do, though? I mean, you probably look at their kit, right? And then you probably click on the reviews, and you probably think to yourself, ah, crap. You know, especially if it's a mythical or a legendary champion, right? But even some epics, right? And the crappy thing is I want to get you guys out of the habit of doing that. And I want to use 5 champions who I incredibly disagree with the in-game ratings on as examples of really 3 different buckets or categories of champions that prove you should never trust the in-game ratings on a champion. Always decide for yourself. You know, there's YouTube out there. If you don't like YouTube, look on, you know, there's so many good websites. Yumi Love Hell Hades, and there's more out there as well. Anyway, what are these categories of champions? And again, I have 5 examples for you guys. I want to start with a champion that I have been all over. I feature her in like 3 videos in a row now, or it feels like that way at least. But Supreme Aethel, right? And this category is probably pretty obvious. These are all the champions that Plarium has buffed. Why in the world, Plarium? Why in the world don't you reset the reviews after you give a champion a nice big juicy buff?
This will give you material for 3 or 4 more sermons.
Come on! Probably because they don't want us to upgrade the good champions anymore. I have no idea. They want us to spend our resources on crappy champions still. Supreme Aethel is so much better than this now, guys. She really is. I've talked about it in a few videos now, but I am so happy with Supreme Aethel after the buff. Is she a top 5 champion in the game? No, but she's incredibly good for control and damage now after her rework or after her buff. Anyway, I don't want to make this a referendum on how much I'm in love with Supreme Aethel. Step aside, Syl the Drakes, baby.
No, all right. I know that sounds bad.
But no, in all sincerity, guys, they don't update. I mean, they don't reset the ratings. They ought to reset the ratings. Come on, man. Even nerfs. I mean, like, knock on wood, they don't bring a lot of nerfs into the game, but they ought to reset the ratings when they balance a champion. It just makes all the sense in the world, right? Anyway, it does take a long time. I'm talking years for these ratings to actually update and reflect how good a champion is in the game sometimes. For example, like a Dracomorph used to be the worst legendary in the game. He's still probably a little penalized in his ratings. Anyway, I digress. But another example of this, right? There's a lot of them in the game, is Vergumkaar, man. I love this big slug of a champion. I mean, golly, big fella. I feel like he's gonna slobber all over me. Get off, buddy.
But that's my signature style.
I love Vergumkaar, but look at these ratings, man. No way. No way. I'm telling you right now, Vergumkaar is not an endgame champion outside of maybe Curse City restrictive content in the game. But you know what he is? He's a hell of a lot better than this for progression players out there in the game. He's insanely good. He's super tanky. 22k HP. He's super tanky. I already said that. But what does he do now? He's got stuns on his A1. He's got provokes on his removing provokes and a random. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves here, Ash. He's removing provokes and another random debuff from all allies on his A2. He's got to increase defense on all allies. He's got a shield based on his HP on a 3-turn cooldown. Moreover, he's going in and he's attacking all enemies. He's removing a random buff from each enemy. Hey, no, there's a 100% chance win, but he's removing 2 random buffs from each enemy. He's placing a heal reduction big version. He's placing a decreased defense big version. Listen, Vergumkaar used to really suck. Now he's really If you're progressing in this game and you pull a Vergumkaar early game, you're going to use this dude everywhere, this big slug, you know? He's an increased defense, 3-turn cooldown, and a decreased defense. He's removing buffs, he's cleansing. I mean, he's a really solid, he's immune to provoke too. He's pretty cool, right? Really solid champion. I could go on forever, baby. That reminds me of like that Home Alone quote. I don't, oh golly. You've been smooching with everybody. So we have Vlad the Nightborne, another example, guys. My man Vlad, dude. I love me some Vlad now. I love me some Vlad. He used to suck and now he's really good. He has I think he might be the only champion in the game with an AoE block active skills, the lockout on a 3-turn cooldown. Traditionally, it's on a 4, but he's also bringing increased defense. He's also protecting himself with a perfect veil. He's also coming in and stealing all kinds of turn meter. He's also placing a leech on another strong AoE. They gave him a really good buff, but you'd never know it because they don't update. Okay, I've made my point about the balance changes, the buffs, the whatever. There's another category of champion you can't trust the reviews for, and it's the niche champions. The champions who really excel in one particular area of the game, but you know, outside of that, not that much. But they could be a massive account changer for you. They could change the game for you. And War Chief is a perfect example of that. If you go look at his reviews, you're like, okay, this guy clearly really sucks. He really sucks. But it's not the case at all. He's the best single target provoker inside the entire game of Raid Shadow Legends. He has provoke on his A1 on a triple hitter. He has a provoke on his A2. This provoke is on a 2-turn cooldown, but it lasts for 3 turns. What more do you want than that? For Magma Dragon, for example, he's the best provoker out there, right? It's a niche champion like this. And again, these are dime a dozen in the game. They have really poor reviews, but it does not illustrate that he could be a fundamental game changer for somebody who needs a really solid provoker, you know? And again, he's not a top 100 champion or anything like that in the game, but he can be very, very instrumental in one particular thing. And I've noticed that across the board, champions that are very good at one thing, but one thing only in one area of the game, they get penalized across the board in the reviews. They're a little bit deceptive. There's no macro indicator of how good a champion is. Moreover, this is a bonus category for you guys. There's the champions that you get early on in this game, right? I haven't even looked at them, but like a Yaga the Insatiable, for example. Everybody gets this dude, right? Early on. And listen, his reviews aren't that, they're actually good. The ratings are appropriate. They're right. He's awful, right, in the game. However, you might look at Demon Lord being very high in Yaga's case, and when Plarium spoon feeds you this crappy ass champion in the beginning of the game, you might say, hey, my clan mates, YouTubers, whoever, tell me that I should focus on Demon Lord. I guess I should focus on Yaga the Insatiable. No. So it can kind of go both ways in terms of they could be better or worse, you know, based on these ratings. Okay, the third category is a big one, and that is misunderstood or complex champions, I guess, right? This kind of a little bit of an overlap here on champions that fall kind of in the previous category of really good in one particular area, but maybe a little bit more versatile than that, like Holstring, right? The Smoke Monster Holstring. Come on, Osama, give us some Smoke Monster vibes. Come on, Holstring, the Smoke Monster. There it is. I love this dude aesthetically. I love him. Here the thing is you look at the reviews, some of the worst in the game. It's criminal. There's so much beauty beyond the eye of these beholders, at least on Holstring. Holstring is a very misunderstood, a very complex might be the wrong word, but he's a dynamic champion that I guess it doesn't jump out the page at you, right? You look at these reviews, you think you just pulled literally the trashiest champion in the entire game. And then you look at like an Alexander the Sharpshooter or something, and it's like 5 out of 5, he's amazing. You can't trust him. Holstring, why is he good? Why am I saying this trashy ass legendary according to the ratings is good? Well, he brings his own increased attack. He has a triple hit, a double hitter, a triple hitter. He's bringing Hex, he's ignoring defense. And then on the A3, he has a quad hitter, okay? A quad hitter as well, stealing turn meter, the whole 9. So why is this guy good? Also, extra damage while he's under perfect veil. He's bringing his own perfect veil when he's attacking in turn. target under Hex, right? Or 2 targets under Hex. So some damage mitigation and extra damage off the passive too. Holstering, believe it or not, guys, is one of the top damage dealing champions against Clan Boss, right? He really is. He's got all these like multi-hitters in his kit. I put, you know, Giant Slayer on this dude and he can smack, and he's a Hex applier too. So, you know, Demon Lord right there, he's a 2.6, man. He's a 2.6. If you don't have a Turvold, I've seen this dude out damage, you know, Brackus the Shifter, a lot of other of like the more well-known damage dealers for Clan Boss, and he's got a 2.6 in there, right? You would never know that, you know, just by looking at the ratings. So listen, with all that said, you know, we're all gonna look at him. We're all gonna look at him, but I wanted to make this video as a reminder. Generally speaking, the ratings in the game, while they're incredibly flawed for all the reasons that I outlined, the best champions in the game, they're going to be right. Like Cardio's going to be a bunch of 5s, right? You're going to be able to pull a Marichka and you're going to know that she's pretty dang good, right? For example. So generally speaking, maybe I want to prove my point, but you just can't trust them. For the non-S tiers in the world, you really can't trust those ratings. So I'd encourage you guys to do a little bit of a deeper dive before you judge a book based on its proverbial cover inside the game here. So guys, this is why you can't trust the ratings, especially on the buffs and the balance changes.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was so serious.
Guys, thanks so much for watching. Let me know if there's any champion out there, maybe even a champion that I mentioned in today's video, that you disagree with my take. Maybe you think that, no, those ratings are right on Holstering Ash. What are you talking about, dude? Or if you have another champion that everybody else hates or the ratings say they suck, but you actually really love, I would love to spotlight them either on this channel or my Raid Champion Guys YouTube channel as well. Much love. Thanks for watching. And as always, take care, guys.